Hi guys, I just want to make a video of a little project that I wanted to do for my 2021 BMW 1250 GS Adventure. Um, I take this bike on a lot of long road trips, like cross-country trips and so on and so on, and I'll do some camping with it and this and that, and it's a fun bike. It tours very well, and it can do some off-road stuff like dirt roads, this and that, and whatever your skill set allows you to do. I know a lot of people say they're heavy, and I agree it's heavy, but compared to, let's say, my Road Glide, it's not that heavy. You know what I mean? But if it's a 250 or one of the lightweight adventure bikes, I get it. They're lighter and you can be more confident with them. But at the same time, I think that these are very capable and great bikes for what they're intended for. So one of the cool things about like having one of these BMWs and a lot of the other brands is with the pannier racks. They you can get the hard cases, the soft cases, all these other things. So one of the things that I like is like I bought mine and I got the hard panniers with it, the top cases and the two sides, and then I went and bought some of the Lone Rider MotoBags, which you can see here. And actually I've used the MotoBags more than I've used my my hard panniers. Over time I decided that I really kind of like the Mosko Moto Bags because they were kind of slimmer. Even in their larger size, they're slimmer, and if you add their little auxiliary pouches, I can't remember how many liters they are, on the front the left or right hand side of each bag, the overall package is still relatively small. Like, for example, I'll show you this MotoBag set here. So normally I like the idea that you can run your items inside this, in bigger items, coats, some camp gear, tent, everything like that can actually fit in here. However, I've really liked the idea of having multiple different pouches, which I usually would run one over here too, which makes this really long, but it's nice to have individual organized pouches. So what I ended up with is I liked the MotoBags, and especially once I bought them, I thought that they were great. I mean, their fit and finish is fantastic. I mean, the whole package is good. It is definitely slimmer, so I feel like I'm not taking as much stuff. I think the Lone Rider bags are great. I don't really have any downsides to them, other than I just sometimes feel like they're just a little large for what I'm getting, or what I'm adapting to lately. I think that a lot of people have done that over the years, where they realize they just kind of bring too much stuff and they never touch it when they're on a long trip. So we try to slim down what we bring, make things a little more streamlined. So what I ended up doing, the project came up, is that I do like to switch my panniers out, depending on the trips I'm taking. So if I'm going to go to New York or something like that, or a big city, or anything like that, I like to use the hard panniers. They're lockable, especially if I'm not camping or something. Or obviously I don't do a lot of off-road, but if I were to go off-road, I'd like to have my soft ones. So what I ended up wanting to do after getting the Mosko bags is I just didn't like the idea that I'd have to take off all of the hardware that has to be permanently attached to the bike with the Allen bolts here, the Torx bolts. So I just, you have to take off basically 16 bolts, or well, I guess it would be 12 bolts, because this one with the offset can stay. But I just didn't like that I'd have to unscrew them in order to put my hard panniers on. So I did some measurements since I had the Lone Rider bags, and I decided I'd give it a chance, and I went to the Lone Rider website and I bought the quick detach plates for the Lone Rider MotoBags. That way the quick detach plates can actually lock onto the stock BMW pannier racks with just a key, no tools. So I did the measurements, and sure enough, they actually worked out great, where I could use the backing plate that would have been permanently screwed to the back of the Mosko Moto Backcountry Panniers, with some Allen bolts. This mounts right to the bags, so I used this as a template, and I was able to line up areas, get it all centered and everything, and drill out the 6 mounting screws, These are not holes that are in the Lone Rider plate to begin with. I did have to, you know, mark these and drill them. I took my time and I got them spot on the left and right. So now this whole rack, instead of having the plastic backing on it, it is just the Lone Rider bag the Mosko bag mounted to the Lone Rider rack. So it has none of that hardware anymore, whether it's the bike side like this or the bag side. And they latch right to the bike in the same way as the Lone Rider ones. So like with this unlocked, you can just take it right off. I could put a hard pannier on, put it right on. And if I put a key in there and obviously locked it, this would be locked to the bike. So the reason that I decided to do that video is because, you know, I know a lot of people are die-hard with a lot of the brands that they use, like Lone Rider, Mosko Moto, and especially in the adventure bike world. I'm not too worried about that. I do love the Lone Rider bags. I like the Mosko. Well, actually, I love the Mosko Moto bags too. I think that they're both absolutely top quality. However, I think that the Mosko Moto bags leave a little bit to be desired when it comes to that quick detach plate. If you're like me, who wants to be able to use the hard panniers when you're, I don't know, whatever trip that you decide to do that with, you know what I mean? Like, I like the modularity of the bike, so it's nice to be able to change things out when you want to without having to take any tools out. So that's what I decided to do. It is definitely something that is really easy to do, especially when this plate is not mounted and you turn it over to make that, you know, to use this piece for the template. You know, I didn't have to take any of this stuff off to do it. It doesn't fit perfectly flat, but it lays on there enough for you to mark everything, and you know, just like anything, you know, really double check your marks, measurements, make sure everything lines up before you pre-drill it. I pre-drilled it with a really small drill bit first, and then I used the drill bit that was the same size as the holes in this plate. That way I didn't mess it up, but I double checked it quite a few times before I did that drilling to make darn sure that I had it lined up. It probably took me 10 minutes aside, and honestly, it's for someone like me who likes to change things out according to whatever type of trip that I'm going on. I like to have the ability to change the bags. I know that, you know, not everybody wants to have 3 different sets of bags. I do. It's nice to have it. I'm not sure if I'll, you know, use them all evenly, but it is nice to be able to do it, you know. I did weigh the hardware for the complete packages after removing all of the hardware and the plates and the backing plate that would have gone on the Mosko bag. I weighed the Lone Rider plates as well, including the offset side, and even though it's extremely minute, like under an ounce, the Lone Rider setup here is actually less weight than that complete setup per bag, including the offset side. So both sides are like a fraction of an ounce less weight, because this is pretty heavy duty plastic here, and you'd have the bike side that you have to account for on the Mosko, where you don't really have to account for that on this because it's just one solid plate of aluminum. Which brings another point when you're drilling these holes, that you don't have to worry about rust or having to paint the inside of those holes, because this is aluminum, which is nice. So, like I said, this video is really more just to say, you know, I know these plates aren't cheap, but if anybody, you know, was up in the air on whether or not something like this could happen, or they were up in the air about the idea of Mosko Moto bags because they wanted something to quick attach to the bike with no tools and then be able to go back to their hard panniers or whatever whenever they wanted to, I figured, you know, doing something like this and showing people that you take a chance and sometimes it works. And it worked out great for me. And honestly, the way that they mount up is really nice. You know, I did leave this one strap on it because it's kind of nice to be able to do both. This strap is the one that comes on the Lone Rider. But I figured, yeah, why not? You know, you're picking them up, you're picking it up at a plate as well. This does stick out a little bit further than the bag. You can see here, I don't know, I would say maybe 2 inches, maybe 1.5 inches. So if you didn't have these auxiliary pouches, you know, this would definitely be noticeable how it sticks out. It is nice because it also has a little bit more, you know, spots for you to put some straps if you wanted to that would be hard mounted, like to the plate. I just, you know, for me, if I was not in the market for these pouches, and really wanted just this little slim bag, I would probably have cut that down and had this repowder coated. But being that I'm obviously running these bags, I don't really care that sticks out. Anyway, that was really all I wanted to show you guys. I think that, you know, doing stuff like this is kind of neat. You know, when projects and, you know, even though it's not a major fabrication thing by any means, it's fun to get something like this done and know that it actually worked out after you buy $400-something plates and hope they work, you know. But thanks for watching. I hope that it helps somebody out if they ever decide they want to do something like that. But you can mix and match that whole set. It does take a little bit of drilling and some measurements, but it mounts up real nice, and you use the same stock hardware. This is the hardware from the Mosko Moto. So thank you for